Okay, today we're going to be making a chocolate chip cookie recipe. That's my mom's recipe. It is super good and it's really old, and it's from this cute old cookbook. And yeah, keep watching. So we're going to start by adding 1/3 cup of butter to a bowl, and it has to be softened so that it'll cream easily. And to that, we're going to add, you can cream it right now or you can cream it with the sugar. So we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of sugar and we're gonna mix that together. Okay, I know it doesn't look great now, but and to get it more mixed, we're just gonna scrape the sides. Okay, I know it doesn't look right, but this recipe actually uses sugar and then a little like glug of molasses rather than white sugar and brown sugar. So usually you'd just be doing white sugar at this step, or you do brown sugar, which would make it a little more like together, I guess, than this. So at this point we're gonna add this molasses. And it's really hard to measure because it's so thick, so that you lose a lot just by pouring it into the measuring spoon. So you're gonna wanna add like about a 1/2 teaspoon and just eyeball it, or to taste. If you like a chewier cookie and a richer cookie, then you can add a little more. But I'm just doing a little bit. And then we're gonna mix that up. Okay, now we're gonna add vanilla extract, and I always add too much because I like it, and I just kind of eyeball it. But if you want to be precise, then add a 1/4 of a teaspoon. I do a lot more than you want because I just like it. Okay, and then a weird thing that I add is almond extract. It's super good. You only need a teeny tiny bit because it has a lot of flavor. So you can just add like an 1/8 of a teaspoon, seriously, just like barely any. Okay, and now we're gonna mix that. Okay, now it's kind of starting to come together more. Okay, so you're gonna want to add a half egg. So I've just beaten one egg really, really well and then put it in this ramekin. So you're gonna pour about half of that in. And if you don't beat it well, then so that the whites and yolk is completely like coagulated, then it will be really hard to get half of it because like the white will just like go all in. I don't know how to explain it, but you just need to beat it really well if you want to pour half of it in. We're going to scrape the sides again so we can make sure we have it even. Okay, that looks good. So at this point, we are going to add the flour. Now you can add this, because I live in such a high elevation, I add a couple tablespoons of flour more, but it's between 3/4 cup and 1 cup of flour, just until the mixture is the right texture. You can mix that. And you want to start on low so that the flour doesn't get everywhere. When you're first mixing, it's going to seem super crumbly and like it will be like there's way too much flour, but just keep mixing and it will come together. Okay, so at this point, it's gonna seem really crumbly, and that is okay. So, we're going to add okay, now we're gonna add our baking soda and salt. And the baking soda, there's 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and also a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So you're just gonna add that in. And then we are gonna mix this. Okay, and so now it kind of looks a little more put together. So, but if you squish it, you can make like a pretty soft like ball, but it shouldn't stick to your fingers much. So I'm just gonna scrape the sides, make sure it's fully incorporated. Okay. And now we are going to add the chocolate chips. Today I'm using these semi-sweet chocolate chips from Costco. And I just kind of add them to taste, really, because it's not going to mess up the recipe if you have too many. It's just going to be a lot more chocolate. And sometimes I like a little less chocolate in my cookie. So we're just going to mix that in. Oh yeah, that's a little trick. If you want to get all the dough off your cookie, just run the mixer on high over the dough and it'll all fly out. Okay, one more time. We're just gonna scrape the sides. Okay, so now you're gonna want to chill this overnight. If you want the best flavor, you can make it now. But if you let the flavors just sit for like a day in the freezer or in the fridge, either way, it makes it so much better. So we're now gonna roll these into balls. And I have set the oven to 375. So now we're just gonna roll the cookies into balls on this cookie sheet. And this, if you freeze it, then it makes it so you can keep it for a lot longer, rather opposed to like keeping it in the fridge. You're just gonna roll it into balls like this size, maybe a couple tablespoons. I actually halved this recipe today, so usually you do like two third cups of butter, 1 3/4 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, like a teaspoon of molasses, or a tablespoon maybe, I don't know. And then just double everything, because I halved it. So this only makes like 1 pan of cookies. And if you do the other one, you have at least a couple like cookie sheets of cookies, if that's what you want. And they don't have to be perfect, so I mean, that's good enough. And if it's uneven and there's a really small one, just take some dough from the others. Okay, So now we have our cookies all rolled out. This is 3 by 3, so not very many, but that's because I have to. Okay, so now we're gonna put this in the oven. And those look pretty. So we're putting it in the oven for 8 minutes at 375. And these are gonna be so yummy. And yeah, so that's my chocolate chip cookie recipe. You put the cookies in for 8 minutes, and then after that, it's just kind of to your liking. If you like a chewier cookie, then you can leave them in, then you take them out then. But if you like a crispier cookie, leave them in a couple more minutes, and they'll be good to go.